All right, so as you guys know, my R34 couldn't get tuned, but today I have a surprise for y'all. Let me show you. So I got my intake manifold from Japan, and I'm gonna unbox it so you guys can check it out.
All right, so let's unbox it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Put this away before I stab myself. Oh yeah. Look at that beauty.
How sick is that? How sick is that, guys? Can't wait to install this thing. It's so fresh. Fresher than the other one I have on there. Oh yeah. Stay tuned for the build. I'm actually gonna put a video on how to install this, and then we're gonna go back to the dyno and get it dialed in. Stay tuned. All right, today I'm working on my Skyline. I'm gonna install the intake manifold and the other couple little things that I ordered for it, so stay tuned. All right, so we have the intake manifold, we got the throttle body, all that stuff. Got a couple of silicone hoses here for boost. Got a speed sensor, O2 sensor for the air fuel ratio gauge. We got a CAS wheel for the cam sensor. And we got the gasket for the intake, so we're going to install that and get rid of this cheap eBay or whatever they got it from manifold. Stay tuned. All right, first I'm gonna drain the coolant from up here because I'm gonna drain the whole cooling system. We're gonna start by draining the cooling system and then go from there. All right, so down here we're gonna loosen up the drain bolt that's right here, because I have another one here too, so I'll probably remove this one here. All right, now that we drained the coolant, we're gonna start working and removing the intake manifold. I'm gonna start by removing all this, all this stuff right here. So we're gonna just check it out. I'm gonna fast forward a lot of stuff, but you can see, what I'm doing. Progress, removed all these parts so far: throttle body, valve valve, fuel injector, fuel rail injectors. Next, I'm gonna unhook all the throttle cable from here, and I'm gonna disconnect all the hoses from it. once again, we have the intake off. So we're gonna clean it up a little bit more, vacuum hoses, and we're gonna run all that stuff. Also, I'm gonna show you guys what happened with this intake. All right, so this intake, the way it's made, if you look at it, it's all like warped, like it's not perfectly flat on top because of the way the machine made it. So I gotta send this out to machine shop to get it machined perfectly flat, but I'm not doing that because I'm not wasting more time with this. I'm gonna put the new one in, make sure it fits and looks good. Stay tuned. All right, so here we have it, the manifold. I'm gonna put a tape around it because I don't want to scratch it. So we're gonna put some tape on it to protect it. There she is, all taped up. Now let's put it together. All right, first we're gonna block off the, it's called the IAC valve plate. So we're gonna put the gasket on. Now I'm putting the cap on there, and then I'm gonna put the rest of these. All right, so I installed the water outlets to go to this piece right here for the hose. So now I'm gonna there's one more I gotta put on here, and then I gotta figure out what I'm doing with these ports because I want to put a vacuum block since I need one actually. So everything has its own vacuum. So I'm probably gonna cap some of those. All right, so I put the nipples here. I covered one because I'm gonna use this for the brake booster. I'm gonna use this for the vacuum block, and then I'm gonna use this one for the blow-off valve. Now for the rest of them, I'm gonna use this block to put the rest of the, the ones I need. All right, so she's finally assembled all together. This is how it's set up. It provides you with a bracket here to mount that up. So the hoses go like that, sensors. So be careful with this side and this side, they're different threads. So looks so good in there. Now I'm gonna mock it up and keep going. All right, she's all mounted up, mocked up, so it fits way better than the other one. Looks way better too. So now I just gotta torque everything down. So stay tuned. All right, so I ran into an issue right there where I marked it. It hits that bracket, so I'm gonna remove all that metal from there so it can actually sit right and it can be flush, as you can see. Right there, it's not flush, so let's do that next. All right, so the bracket is cut, it fit perfect. Now I'm putting on all the bolts and torquing them down to 22 newton-meters. That's what I'm doing next. This came out fresh, happy with it. Let's get it done. All right, so ran into a few issues, so you guys don't run into the same issues. All right, so the bolt down here, because of this bracket that came with this manifold, the bolts, they're all the same, so I had to get a slightly longer one to clear that and grab it right. This bolt underneath this hose is really tough to get in. The other ones are okay. What you're gonna need is one of these stubby think it's the 6mm right here. You're gonna need that. And you're gonna need a swivel like this to even get them in there. So get this kit from, I got it from Amazon. And it comes with these stubby ones. And then this, it's just a swivel. All right, so I'm assembling this throttle body. It came with this piece on it and this piece on it. So you gotta remove those two to make it fit with this one. So you use the other supply materials, parts, whatever, and then you put them on. You want to make sure that the throttle body, when you open it, it removes that little flap in there. So put it against it. Don't put any type of like pressure on it. Just, you know, make it fit. So the sensor's mounted. This actually fits pretty good. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna install it and you know, show you guys. All right, so this throttle body is very close to this box right here. So as you can see, when I move it, it rubs on this. So I'm gonna remove some of this, you know, some of this trim and get it out of there so it doesn't get on the way. All right, so I cut a piece there. You know, I still left that back complete because I don't want this to touch anything. So I cut in an angle, but it's free now. There's no touching. All right, so I made a bracket because the one that came with it is not good enough. This was from my old one that came in, so that's gonna go in like that. I made a little bigger hole in there to mount it on. Let's get it. All right, so the bracket's installed. Not perfect, but it works. So for now, until I get a new cable, that's how it's gonna go. So now I'm working on fitting all this stuff back because it's not gonna fit the same way. It's different, so I gotta do different plumbing. All right, update. So I ran differently. No more blow-off valve on this side. What I did is I put it down here. It probably sounds still good. I still was able to keep this pipe. But yeah, this is how I set it up this time. I think it looks a little cleaner, but I did like that blow-off valve there, but it's okay. It's all right. All right, so I just ran all the vacuum lines. Looks very clean. Now I'm working on the fuel rail. I can't use the one I bought for the other one, the radium one, because it has 3 holes to mount it, and then this one only has 2. It mounts differently. But there's the blow-off valve. Looking good, everything's tight. Getting closer. All right, it's all finished. I started it up, there was no leaks. That's a great thing. No leaks, no leaks. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, just be careful putting this on. Tape it up, all the bolts. Make sure they go in, you know, by hand. If one of them doesn't, then I would suggest you move the manifold around to try to get it in by hand, because I made the mistake of trying to, you know, put one in and it messed up the head, so I rethreaded it. But thank you for watching. She's alive again. No issues so far. Everything, no leaks. Everything looks good. Time for some tuning. Stay tuned.